Welcome to RoXolid Productions, where we've been road tripping to the Missouri GameCon, and we're going to share with you our panel with the one and only John Rigg'd. Hey everyone, Gary here with RoXolid Productions. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. That way each and every time we do come out with new content, you are kept the most up in the know. We recently had a chance to attend the Missouri GamesCon in St. Charles, Missouri, and one of the coolest things about that show for me was the fact that I had an opportunity to do a panel with the one and only John Rigg'd. You know, open cart surgery John Rigg'd. John was super gracious and just amazing to work with, and a gentleman who was there by the name of Jake Friedel actually recorded the entire thing and has provided the footage to us to share with all of you. So here is the panel from John Rigg'd and I at the Missouri GameCon.
How's it going? Thank you for attending. We are so my name is John Rigg'd. I have a channel where I try to fix games, and oftentimes I just end up cleaning them all the same. And to help me today, I got my friend Gary from RoXolid Productions. That's R-O-X, RoXolid Productions. Check him out on YouTube as well. If you dig what I do, you'll dig him too. And we have a couple of games that we picked up at the convention that have been dropped off, and we're going to see how many we can... there's no clock in here. What is it?
Right behind us. I can't read that.
What do you have, 45 minutes or so?
Yeah.
Sure. We're going to see if we can... I did this last year in Portland, and it took me half an hour before our first game worked. So this may be completely anticlimactic, but we're going to see if we can fix whatever we can using just these tools, apparently. So we got to just crack into it here. Yeah, if you got one, what do you got?
Good game.
Yeah.
And a hush falls over the crowd.
A hush falls over the crowd. All right, what happened to it? Do you know? Does it just not work?
No,
Does it freeze? Doesn't want to fire up or anything?
Doesn't do game stuff.
Worst possible outcome.
Yeah, nothing at all.
Doesn't do game stuff.
At least you're not cannibalizing it into a gimmick.
I can do that right now too. I don't know. All right.
Non-working Mr. Gimmick.
All right. So, should we just try the one-up card? Do we have a one-up card? It's funny, I have a whole basket of them.
Yeah, no, I've just got the cleaner and the Q-tips down below.
That'll work.
Do-do-do-do.
I know. Yeah, this is all Gary's stuff here, so it's like, you know, I can't really... I don't think they would have let me on a flight with a soldering iron in my carry-on, so...
Carry-on, no, you can check it though.
Yeah, I don't like checking stuff.
And then use that spray, that aerosol.
This here?
Yep.
On the Q-tip directly?
On the Q-tip directly.
All right, so now you're teaching me.
Just remember who introduced you to Bright Boy.
I know, that's true. I do like Bright Boy. I like Bright Boy a lot more than Bresso, that's for sure. I should have opened this first. Yeah, all right.
Iron is not on yet, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, okay. If we get that far, we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing with this one, though, is I don't have a spare board. So I can't just do like a board swap or something. But I can have a look on the inside to see. Have you opened it up yet?
Yeah, there's nothing I can see as far as...
Yeah. So I assume you...
I don't have a good eye for that stuff.
No, I wear glasses, so I have... Well, watch this work. This will be like the snake oil salesman. It's like, you're cured! Would that be great? Oh, changing colors here.
It looks kind of like a lid.
Yeah, well, it's getting there. It's a little grungy, a little faded. That's all right. And you can try cleaning games in the meantime, or you can try fixing stuff.
Well, I was going to offer, if you want me to take that apart for you and I can try cleaning that while you go on to something else, I'm up for that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? I'll see what else we have here.
Here, I'll trade sides.
All right.
There's a table leg there.
Apparently. All right, what else we got? Somebody handed me like my videos here. Here we go. This is from Niels Garcia. Shout out to Brentwood, Missouri. Anyone from Brentwood? Perfect. Right on. My perfect audience. Here's Mario 3. He said this isn't working. Let's have a look. Yay, we got it working.
It's the magic touch.
And maybe it's because it's a clone system, because sometimes the clone system is, because I don't know if it just plays through an emulator or whatever it is, but, you know, I had a Mega Man 1 that was completely glitchy, but then on a Retron 5 it looked great. So it's like, because it's downloading the ROM and then playing off the ROM, I don't know what's going on with this one now.
Well, I had messaged you a couple weeks ago that I have my Rad Racer 2 won't play on my NES, but it'll play on all my clones, no problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, in situations like that, I don't know if it's just the... I don't know if it's just the, like their Nintendo, but then, you know, I always ask, like, well, do other games work, you know? But more often than not, they've already checked or tested, and I'm just getting ahead of myself. Let me see if this works. I got bad news here. See if we get bad news. Come on. Give me a broken game. Oh, maybe it's...
Ooh.
Cool. Anyone know this language? It actually plays better this way.
That might be Klingonese.
Is that what that is? Bad news. All right.
I'll trade you.
All right.
Take that out of the case for you.
Perfect. Yeah, this does look super clean.
I did hit it again, but there was nothing really that came off of it.
This is that Sunsoft. This is the... I love the Sunsoft board on these. But maybe it's just not getting the whole connection, the whole thing. Wouldn't that be something? And you can place these directly into your like top loader. I wouldn't recommend doing this with the toaster model, not a literal toaster. That I think so. Oh, you bastard! All right. And what's fun with these, I mean, not that I would do this too, but what's fun with these Sunstock boards is you don't need to do any rewiring. If you just pop it straight in there without rewiring, it'll work just fine. But you're right, it looks...
I got a little bit more off, but it was pretty clean.
What'd you call me? More off? Wait.
Not
Yeah.
in public, John, not in public.
Yeah, I mean, even the Sunsoft uses a special proprietary chip that looks like this weird square. And sometimes the... and we could try reflowing the solder, maybe, but...
You're on.
All right.
That's that one. I'll trade spots with you again.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. I'm probably gonna be standing up the entire time
Okay.
anyway. I'm gonna be extra lurky. Soldering, is that the soldering iron? Oh, perfect.
soldering
All right, we could try the reflow. You want to handle the reflow part, or do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do that because
Okay.
I have admittedly never done it.
The games are already broken, so, I mean, you ain't gonna... I was like not throwing the label in the case or anything, at least.
Draw a smiley face and solder on it.
You know, I probably could. It may work better. All right. Bad Dudes Part 2. After it's been thoroughly cleaned. Yeah,
It looks like a little...
mirror. It's like a different image.
Now, if you take a look at the top of one of the pins on the back side, it looked like there was some corrosion or like a notch out towards the top. But I think there's enough of the trace there where it should be okay.
Oh, on what side?
On the right-hand side, like 4 or 5 pins in.
Oh, on this on the front side. Or the back side.
I don't remember if it was on the wrong side or not.
All right, perfect. All right. We're an old married couple, by the way. I have no idea. This is a TL. Do I have an extra for these? I don't know if I want to do that for Bad Dudes. I kind of want to look at this Legend of Zelda. Look at the Legend of Zelda. This was also just hooked up from the downstairs. Someone said, hey, here's the Zelda that's not working. Oh, I just felt. Which is also not good. You should probably clean it first before you just pop anything in your system. Because this feels like you're just shoving dirt into the pins of your system. We could try. We could give it a shot anyway. This heats up quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I've got it set to about 650 right now. You can adjust it.
Yeah, it's
One thing, if you guys have never soldered before, always treat a soldering iron like it is on and hot because it hurts, especially when you have a blob of solder that, that lands on the webbing between your toes when you're soldering something in your lap and you have sandals on. Don't ask me how I know that.
That sounds pretty specific. Yeah, no, it's napalm. It's hot boiling metallic thing.
Can we ask questions during lulls and commentary?
Always. So, let's see what this goes going on here.
Do you need some light?
No, I'm good. I got light.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, this is hot. Plenty hot. All I'm doing here is I'm not adding any more solder to it. I'm just doing what's called reflowing the solder, which is basically just like remelting the solder and it cools immediately. You don't have to add any more solder to it if you don't want to. Because sometimes, I don't know if the solder gets old and cold and dry or whatever, but we're going to see if this works. Sometimes it's worked before in the past, and it's also the kind of easy go-to fix if the other fixes haven't worked. It's another idea to try just in case. My plan is to get one game working. I'd like it to be this one. I'm doing this to the Revenge of the Joker. Boy, thanks for wasting your time hanging out here. Must be the boringest. I can't speed it up like I usually do in my videos. While we're doing this, if you have any questions, shout them out. I can't see you as it is, so there's like the part like when I do this live streaming, it's like I just get really quiet all of a sudden because.
What are the possible dangers with having your soldering iron too hot, or how can you tell that it is too hot?
Good question. The dangers are, the obvious one is like it could burn your board. Like there's a lot of these little tracers, all the little squiggly lines that go from one thing to the other. It certainly could burn off and scorch your board. That's always my biggest danger.
I did a region-free mod switch to an orange GameCube so I could play US or Japanese games on it, and it wasn't that my tip was too hot. I had too broad of a tip, so I have a pencil tip on here now, same iron that I use for that. But because the tip itself was too broad, it heated not just where the pin was going through the board, but around it, and it burned the board. And I was able to resurrect it, but it kind of irks me that I know that I've ruined the collectability value of that console.
You just got to keep it forever now.
Yeah. I'll check out the Zelda for you.
All right, go for it, dude. My eyes are crossed, as well as my fingers. Come on, familiar music. No, not what I had in mind, but that's fine.
Try to work with you, John.
Oh, I know. I appreciate that, buddy. Any help I can get, it's always appreciated. I'm going to go ahead and touch up the other little memory chip here, just really quickly. I say really quickly, but this is.
The other thing I'd say too when you're soldering, especially stuff like this, 60-40 rosin core solder is what you want to use.
Agreed.
There's other stuff you can use for like glass windows and whatnot, or an acid core solder. That's completely the wrong stuff to use. It can actually ruin PCBs, especially if you use acid core solder, because it's literally an acid core.
It's acid, yeah. What would you use acid core solder for? Do you know? I know it exists. I just know like.
I have no idea. I don't think that that's what they use for like glass. Someone in here has to have Google on their phone.
I do. I just.
We don't have Wi-Fi on our phones.
Yes, that's right.
Ooh.
I'm sure to ask other people.
Yeah, it is. Google it for me. Siri, what is
I've got a vise here too if you need to hold the board.
Oh, yeah. What else I grab? What else we got? Oh, lovely. Should we do Mario and Duck Hunt or Mario and Duck Hunt, apparently? Try one of these. Yeah, and I'll go with Mario and Duck Hunt for sure. Come on, you. I can't accept that. There it is. Try it.
Drop it. Break it so we can fix it.
something anyway. This, okay, there we go. Unfortunately, these I think are the flop tops.
I thought he punked you for a second.
Feel a little bit heavier?
Oh, I'll have a look. Oh. Seriously? Guess I gotta look at Doodley's Commando. Yeah, these are laptops. Sometimes they look like this, which are just blobs of that. And if it doesn't work, I guess you can heat it up. I've heard that before.
I can
You got something?
I can see the. You can see the garbage on the pins from
But you
here.
can, these look like the front row of a Willie Nelson concert's teeth. Go ahead, will you? I don't wait for the jokes to happen. I just fly right by.
When are the jokes starting?
I know. Those are the good ones. All right, we'll look at Martin's Commando here.
This is one I kind of wish I would have brought some Bright Boy with me.
Ah, I know. It's all good, dude.
What possible ways are there to damage your soldering iron tip?
Well, a lot of usage for one, and not cleaning it afterwards.
Not tinning it properly.
Not tinning it properly. They have, there's one over here, I'll show you. Like they have, like here's, obviously, yeah, soldering iron tip. I like these, which is kind of like a scrub. And it's like, not iron wool, but it's like kind of like an iron wool. And it's just like, you just jab it in there, and it cleans it for you. And sometimes I didn't do that for a long time when I first started. And I was constantly changing my tip, or because I'm cheap, I just buy like the $6 Walmart soldering iron, and not do it. And then I would just throw it away and buy a new one, which is a waste. What was I going to grab with this one? I was going to grab. Oh, no, it wasn't. Never mind. I talked to myself too. That's right.
The other thing too, when soldering, when you're done, one of the things that I will normally do is I'll actually tin the tip because that helps dissipate heat while it's sitting in your holder.
Yeah. So don't accidentally touch it well, because I mean, as soon as you turn it, the soldering iron turns off, it's like the oven coil.
Right.
It's still going to be hot for a while, you know. Yeah, this is that one that. No, hold on. Seriously.
Little victories.
So what's? Because Martin said it would freeze about 10 minutes into, not 10 minutes, sorry, I'm not gonna, yeah. Let's see, I can even last 10 minutes in this game. So he said it would just freeze after a while. Like, I'm also not very good at this game, so. Turbo buttons on this? Crazy. Alright, where's it gonna freeze? I don't know what it's gonna freeze. He said it freezes sometimes. It's getting so broken anyway. Huh. There it goes. Huh. Well, that's no good. All right, he's not wrong. This is a UN ROM, and I believe I brought some boards.
There's other donor boards here too.
Oh, do you? Oh, yeah, good, thank you. I think I even brought a UN ROM. Oh, I did. We'll try the old board swap, just because the UN ROM only uses one pin anyway. Do you have the D solder? Oh, it's right here.
Yep, everything's right there for you.
Oh, is this plugged in yet?
It is. It's just not turned on.
Oh, you turn it on from here? Or where do you turn it on? Oh. See, I don't have one of these, so this is crazy. All right.
Kid in the candy shop.
This guy here?
Yep.
You have one of these too, Jake?
Yep.
Is this yours?
No, that one's the game job.
Oh. How do you turn it on? Oh.
Excuse me?
Yeah, sorry, that was the Prevel cheese that I had earlier. Well, it's gonna take a while to heat up anyway. Yeah, let's put it right in front of you.
I'd say otherwise you can always set it right on there.
Yeah, okay. I like it. This. I should make sure this game works. I'm not sure what this game is. It's probably Silencer, which is a cheap EEPROM board. I'm just going to take the one out of one, put the other one back in the other one. So long as the circuit board is the same circuit type, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Well, or not. Well, let's see if we can get this working so we can kill it. Wow, that was unexpected. I had it in there for a reason.
Looking at that one, those are just not coming off.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know if that'll impede or not. I'll try it.
We give it a shot, I guess. Yeah, give it good luck anyway, all the same. Okay. Best of luck to you. Genesis games. Oh, somebody drop out a couple of these too. My good friend, my buddy. SF, something wrong. Here's a MMC3. Oh, this is the TS ROM. That's good. Nothing, huh?
No. This is one where there's, so for normal cleaning, like the one-up cards work great.
Yeah.
This is something I would hit with a compound called Bright Boy. You can get it on Amazon or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it would clean off. There's a lot of stuff that I just can't get off of that board.
Yeah,
right now.
ain't going anywhere.
And this is more potent. This is actually an RC electric motor cleaner, and it's a lot more potent than most rubbing alcohols would be. So the fact that that's not touching it worries me.
Yeah. That's the same. I just think we left it alone. I just give it a surprise attack. If it would just leave it be. Oh no, I got all kinds of stuff out here now. This is like, I feel like I have a home.
How often do you have to tin the tip of a soldering iron?
Before you apply it to any surface, you should tin it.
I mean, do you do it once and then it's done, or every time you get it out?
Every time you get it out. So every time you're going to solder a new component, you need to tin. And especially if you're doing wires, you can always pre-tin those. Do you tend to pre-tin your boards, or do you just
I don't preach into boards.
Okay.
I just haven't.
what you need?
How was that Zelda? That was just not working again.
Correct.
Love it.
That was, I think that's
Yeah.
this one.
You know, the scene in Batman where, like, you know, the guy like reconstructs the Joker's face. You know, you see what tools I have now? So this is no. So it was given to me as it didn't work, but maybe it's like the other one. Where it just crash immediately. You know, I could beat the first level of Super Mario Bros. 3 without looking. That was like one of my first YouTube videos ever. I don't know if I can do it now, but all right, this. Is there anybody in this room who does not have a copy of Super Mario Bros. 3? I already got one. I don't need another one.
He's got
Won't
one
work
that's
on yours,
yours.
maybe, but yeah. Hope they didn't want that back.
That's that copy of Zelda there.
Oh, perfect. I didn't bring an SN ROM, did I? Probably not. Oh, perfect. Here's another one. CN ROM. I'm going to look at this while I'm over here anyway, because let's see if I didn't do it wrong. I'm going to run downstairs and grab another sacrifice into this now. Whoa!
That's trippy.
It's an up close of the waterfall scene at the beginning.
This needs like a nice static sound.
Doesn't it? I know. I wish we had that. What is going on with that? I've never seen that before. That's a first. And it might be the clone system too. That's causing it to do that feedback. But
Now, the one thing looking at the board, if you look near the back battery terminals, there look to be a little bit of
Oh, I see
gunk
that.
and corrosion there.
yeah.
That should only affect save state.
Yeah, something like that would only. But I mean, I've been surprised before. So. Did we go through all the games that we that we had? I thought I had one more. Oh, I do have one more, but where is it? Am I still
You
downstairs?
got another Mario Duck Hunt there.
Oh yeah, that was the one that I think that one worked already. Yeah.
That was the working one, okay.
Does anybody not have a copy of Mario Duck Hunt? No.
Pull!
I was gonna toss it to someone in the audience. That's all right. Well, what's left? Were those the games we had? Did anyone else bring any games or anything? Nothing? Nothing? I have another game downstairs. I could run downstairs and grab it really quick. Do I? Do I have time? What are we looking for time?
It is 5:15.
Oh, good lord. Well. Yeah. Thought I had something. All right, well, I'll be right back. Oh, have you seen anything going on, or? Tell an anecdote there, Gary. I'll be right back.
Show tunes, anyone? Is that what it's used for? I appreciate that. Well, depending on the show, it could be the tune.
Have you ever done work on MoGameCon games?
I don't do the level of game repair that John does. I do mostly cleaning because to this point, that's all I've needed to do. So I just work with, like I say, different cleaners between the one-up cards. That's, if you're doing just day-to-day maintenance, that's the best thing you can use. And the reason why I know a lot of people, and I hate to have them here, but you know, a lot of people just say, well, I can use a cotton swab. This will actually leave lint behind on the pins, which can get in your system, cause issues there. The one-up cards, that material is so dense, it doesn't flake off. So 90% of the time, that's what I do. I had recently picked up a lot of games from an auction, and I thought they had gotten wet and corroded, and it was water. Well, if you've ever seen how electronics react to cat pee, that's basically what happened to about 60 games. Using a combination of, this is, like I say, this is an electric motor cleaner called Magnum Force 2 for RC equipment. Between that and a cleaning compound called Bright Boy, every single game played when I was done with it. And I mean, there were a lot of duplicates and whatnot in there, so I was able to take what I had and either sell or get rid of or donate. And I got let's see, Power Blade was one of them in there that I was able to resurrect, which was I was really excited to get that. Cheaper game, City Connection, Adventure Island was in there. So a lot of it is just making sure that you're taking proper care of your stuff so that you don't get to this point. And the other thing too is, one of the things that can easily break any of the traces on the boards and whatnot too is just dropping games. It happens. It's easy enough to fracture a board. I know John on the regular uses, I think it's Miramasa boards, that if you need to transfer everything to, you can do it that way and resurrect. Like I say, I've been lucky. I haven't had anything that I've had to do that with, but I know John is definitely the man when it comes to fixing those type of games.
Yeah.
Miramasa boards are what you use, right?
What happened?
Miramasa boards?
Yeah. Just as a new circuit board. But the Miramasa boards are also pre-wired to avoid a copyright, for copyright protection. Later Nintendo games had their own kind of proprietary schematic. So that would be like, instead of this going here, this goes here, that goes there, that goes there. And it took someone else to say, oh, well, if you rewire it this way, you can do that. I also find it ironic that we put the guy with the dad bod in the aerobics room. I appreciate that. So this is Ivan Ironman Student Super Off-Road.
It's a great game.
Is it? Sure.
I remember playing
in the arcade.
The arcade cabinet because
Yeah.
you had the 3 steering wheels and whatnot. I'll get you.
All right, sure. Thank you.
Do you ever do work on Famicom games?
Yeah. And the same way, the Famicom boards look very, very similar. And even if you're going to rewire them for any reason, it's done the same way. The Famicom game is, there's no screws in the back, it's all clamp case, and I've never once ever opened a Famicom game without breaking the shell. Love that Atari game, perfect. Did you blow it? Not yet, I should though. See what happens. So we have that one, and then this one's Contra. I know usually my videos, like my kids would be yelling at each other in the background, and I have none of that ambience right now. Oh, that's true. The Contra boards are a very cool blue color versus the green. Oh yeah. It looks clean. I mean, you can also tell like if somebody tried to clean it before.
Yeah.
Or they did, because you can see. I mean, it's clean, right?
Yeah, nothing's jumping out. I mean, there's one pin that's got a little bit, but nothing much.
Yeah. I have Iverman Stewart's. Dude, seriously? That's lovely. Oh, good lord. All right.
I'd blame your assistant if I were you.
Yeah, I think I'm your assistant at this point. I'm just the Vanna White putting on the games to see if they actually work. Trying to figure this out here. This is an AMROM. What? All right. Any luck?
A couple spots, but that was, I mean, nothing that looked like it should have been. And that is a technical term.
I was going to say, that's, yeah, I learned that in college.
See, I went to night school.
Oh, well, across the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da!
So what we have learned here today is I cannot fix games like you can.
You don't see the part where I edit out, where I throw the other game away and grab the game from my collection, saying, "Of course it works. It always works." Yeah, they're gonna put me on the spot here. Not, you know, like I said I said the same thing to the Portland guys when at their expo. It's like, there's never a guarantee any of these are gonna work, and I mean, it took me half an hour to get one of them to work. I have to do a board swap to do it. I'm gonna try reflowing these just in case. That sometimes works. Watch it not work. I am pretty sure none of these are gonna work today. Because they all look like they've already been at least cleaned or attempted, right?
Yeah, there was just that one that I wish I had the bright boy for.
Yeah. It's all right, dude. We're like Evel Knievel. We get paid for the attempt. So did anybody like, you're probably from the area mostly, or you drove out here from a little, did anybody fly into town just for this convention? Oh yeah? Oh, yeah, of course. Hi, yes. Of course Kevin and Kelsey did. Where are you from, Kevin?
Dallas, Texas.
You flew in just for this?
Yeah.
You have a convention in Dallas, don't you?
Yeah, but also, online.
Oh, I see, okay. Well, I appreciate that. You're not here for me, but I appreciate that.
So I have a question for you that everybody else may be interested in as well.
Nope.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
So all the repairs and whatnot you do on the games and whatnot.
Yeah.
You ever do any system modding, like RGB mods, HDMI installs, any of that?
You know what's funny? I haven't, and I get asked that a lot. Not only have I been asked that a lot, I have received, like in the mail, somebody sending me their Nintendo, saying, "Oh, here's this Nintendo, it needs one of these, and send it back when you're done." I was like, that's not what I do, but I mean, and I don't only because I haven't. I started doing this just for I started doing this because I didn't work in a video store. I mean, later on I did. A different video game store in town. I would always come in there and rent Nintendo games back in the day because I could afford that. But they always, like, the person would be like, "Oh, the game doesn't work," and there's like the rattle and load of plastic. Of course it works, but they're just trying to get the game in. Seriously. So I would trade me fixing their games in lieu or in trade for like free rentals.
So was that before or after you got arrested from Blockbuster?
That was before. The Blockbuster thing was when I was
It's one of my favorite
when I was in
stuff.
high school. Yeah, Blockbuster actually thought I broke into their store and stole a bunch of stuff when I was like really sick. So I was like, yeah, thanks for that. That's exactly what I need in my life. And that was a different. It wasn't Blockbuster. It was like a local, kind of a more local video game store that had me so-called fix their games, and I was like, some were always done, but it's like me fixing them. For the most part, it's cleaning them or just kind of doing this, you know. But I've always just done it for myself. I never thought about putting it on YouTube or anything like that. Like I mentioned in the Metal Jesus panel, that me fixing games was my throwaway video in between tutorials until I realized, oh, more people are watching these than the other stuff I was doing. So.
Can the color on screen or the pattern on screen give you a hint as to what the problem is?
Yeah, sometimes. Like if the game plays and it works, but the graphics are all mixed up. Most games, let me show you. This is a good one. Like most games are like here and here. It's separated into two different chips. This one's the characters, which is the graphics. This one's the program, which is the game. If the game works, but just the graphics are glitched up, the program's good. Then I know it's this chip because it's the characters that are all jumbled around. So for the most part, if I just see what's wrong with that one, then the other one's good. So yeah, sometimes definitely that happened. Or sometimes it'll look like, it looks like it wants to work but doesn't. And then some games have, I don't know what's called mirroring. But there's like mirroring issues, like say a horizontal or vertical, like maybe one game moves this way, one game moves this way. But if it doesn't scroll right, it's because it's on the wrong setting. And that's more for like if you get into repros and stuff like that.
What was the first game that you ever figured that you could fix and fixed?
Oh, it was,
Not that one.
not this one. On the channel or just in real life?
Just to realize when.
Oh man, that was like, well, we're talking like 1989 or 1990 now. And I don't remember what it was. I mean, most of them were just like, the game's broken, but then they would just put it aside because they didn't care about Nintendo games.
Right.
So I'll just see these games piled up. It's like, I can fix those for you if you want. So like, yeah, go for it. And then most of them were just, yeah, either they wanted to return them because they didn't work, or they were dirty, so I just cleaned them with, back in the day, Q-tips and rubbing alcohol. That's what I used for years. And again, that's my fixing the game, And I don't remember what game it was. I mean, it's probably like, I don't know, probably something like heavy shredding or something. For some reason, heavy shredding sticks out of my mind. It was one of the games during that time. What was that other game I was looking at? Oh, this is Contra.
That's the Joker right there.
Yeah. I don't remember what this one is. Sven? Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. It's a TS ROM. I'm going to guess. Oh. Yes. I'm going to guess 8 eyes. I have no idea. More answer. Did we just see that a second ago? Why did they give you a Mario 3 board? Dude, seriously? What a waste of it. I'm gonna kill that game. How much time do we got left, Jake? I'm getting nervous here. It's like I gotta pick something before we get out of here.
5 minutes. Say 5.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Want something embarrassment here.
Our love is unconditional.
Thank you. I know. Like I said, it's the attempt. It's like, and I don't have the rest. I mean, not that I have the. I mean, these are actually more tools than I ever worked with in the first place. But
Are you talking about me?
yes, this tool right now. I wouldn't. Come on now. Come on now. If I could at least do a board swap or something. But it was funny because the backup board didn't even work. But the backup board maybe didn't work because of something else wrong with the board, and the thing I need to use the board for is not the thing that is making the other one not work. Ta-da!
I'm intrigued by your theories, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter. But I will also subscribe to you on YouTube and hit the bell notification icon.
Please do. All right. I'm taking this thing out. Taking it out. I don't know how much slack I got. What is going on with this guy here?
You got plenty.
Okay. I'm just curious. I don't want to. actually it works pretty well. I've never used this one before. Dude, I like this. This sounds so wrong.
I think that's actually the updated version of the one that you have.
It is.
Yeah.
There's the one I was looking at, but it's the one that's like $300 or something.
Yep. I think that's the, is that the 903?
That's the FR 300?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 350? Okay.
It replaced the metal one.
Yeah. This is just sucking the solder out. So the pins go in there, and then the solder is the metal kind of conductor that tells the chip like what pin goes where to the circuit board. Like this pin goes to here, as I burn my thumb probably. So I shouldn't do that finally.
Are any of the pins on the NES cartridge entirely useless?
Any of the pins?
Yeah.
There are some of the earlier games, instead of like getting away from the earlier pins, some of them, like, they're like, is this, and I've gotten that before, it's like, is this, like, it looks like it's missing stuff. Like some of them are literally missing them because they're not needed. And then there'll be two games that are the same game, but they're missing this part, probably just with an updated circuit board or something. So later on, like if it was useless, they just didn't use them.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind too is a lot of games were the exact same game for the Famicom and the NES, and the Famicom was only 60 pin versus 72.
Right. So they just 60 pins is all they need. Excuse me.
Does the pin converter from the Famicom to the NES use any complicated electronics, or is it just a matter of rerouting?
It's just a pass-through.
Just reroute, yep. Yeah. And you can get those too. They, I mean, you don't have to like, I used to be, you'd have to find like a gyromite or something that happened to have one of those boards in it. But now, you can find,
Is it Hyperkin who's got one?
I think Hyperkin has one. Muramasa also makes his
Yeah.
own. I love these Capcom boards because you can like literally just pull it out with your fingers like that. So this is Contra, and it's not the game I want to just throw away. That I don't need. Now you just got to find another UN ROM. That's not it. This is it. What was this game? Oh, this is Commando. I better not do this. That's Martin's.
If you don't miss anything, we're unsubscribing.
I'm trying, buddy. This is a UN ROM. This was the one that's not working. I mean, hello. None of them are working, so.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yo, please say it. Oh, there's
No, there's
okay,
Commando.
so I'm glad I grabbed the wrong one. So now I'm going to see if this is going to be a ridiculous thing.
Swapping them between boards just to see if that takes care of it.
Yep. One from one and one from the other. Well, then what was the one game I was going to use? This one. Actually, you know what? Instead of that, I'll use this other one. Yeah, I gotta go through this again. And this will be my last one of the day here. You having a good show so far? You find anything cool? Find anything that was it like the oh man, I can't wait to I hope that I find this. No. I love that game. Never beat it though. I was wondering about that too when they're like, oh, you're gonna host a panel. Anything you want to do, and I could just do a Q&A or whatever. It's like, I figure, you know, if you're actually attending my panel, you probably want to see, you know, like a live version of my YouTube channel, minus my kids climbing all over me. So is this like semi-interesting, or would you have rather have seen like the game hacking thing, or if I mean, there's no guarantee I'll come back, but if I come back next year, like, should I hack a game live on stage, or like what would get you to want me to come back? How about that?
I can't say I actually watch your channel for what you're doing. It's more the commentary of what you're saying because the personality is really.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. Thank you. What a great thing to say.
Do karaoke.
No, I've got, you know what you need to do?
I did some karaoke when I first got into town.
You need to bring Laura.
I would love to bring my daughter. But as soon as they found out that St. Louis had a free zoo,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, I want to go. And I was like, oh, maybe next time. But if I do come back next year, maybe I will see if I can, you know, bring my kids. Do I do the soldering?
I can
All right.
get that for you.
Give it a shot there. Is that me? Is that the fumes? Holy moly. All right. I don't need this anymore for the rest of my life ever. This is a nice thing. I like this. All right. It's not mine, by the way. It's mine now.
Actually, until Kelsey comes up and beats you up for stealing your panel.
Oh, is Kelsey going to beat me up? Oh, she's right there. She's getting ready. I think she's putting on her beat up heels. So we'll see. Her panel's coming up next, right? Yeah. Oh, see? How can I see how? When's her panel start?
5:45, so there should be a transition, but
Okay.
take your time.
Take my time, yeah. Yeah, and he's just doing the quick, I mean, it's just soldering. And if you've never soldered before, the very first thing I ever soldered in my life was a mod chip to a PlayStation 1 board because I had complete confidence in just, I mean, it's solder, which is kind of a metal wire, I don't know. And then the hot iron, and then basically you just put the solder where it should go, and then the hot iron like melts it immediately, and then it cools immediately. So you can solder something and you can touch it almost, not that you'd want to, but.
Yeah, it doesn't cool all that.
No, it's like so, especially when it drips off, yeah, like you said, onto your foot in the middle of the night, that burning napalm. The worst injury I've ever heard, I don't want to talk about that, never mind.
Oh no, I think they want to hear.
It wasn't about me, it was about a friend of mine. Another buddy of mine who does this kind of stuff, especially for repros. He was talking about how he was taking apart one of the pins, and sometimes if you don't, like this is a soldering remover, this one's a really nice, it's like a $300 desoldering gun. But if you don't get all of the solder around the pin, it really gets stuck in there. And I don't know how he managed it, he doesn't wear glasses like I do. But he popped it off, and a piece of the pin went flying off, landed in his eyeball, and he could hear it sizzle. So that's why I wasn't going to say anything. But you're like, no, talk about the guy who burned his freaking eyeball.
Sorry, guys. The one thing I would say, too, if you're looking to ever solder stuff like this, too, is do not use a soldering gun, use an iron, just because you get better control.
Yes. Even though that soldering gun will melt the solder, it's also not optimal.
What size wattage iron are you using right now?
This is actually not measured by wattage because it's a variable.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have it at 650? What is it at?
Yeah, I've got it at 650 right now.
Okay, yeah.
Double check
That's
those, but those should be good. Make sure I didn't cross any. That's the other thing is you don't want to make sure you cross any pins.
Yeah. That should, it's,
One?
no, it looks good. There's just that hole there, and that probably still would have
Yeah.
worked. It still would have been fine. Dude, where'd it go? Come on. Tag team it. Where's the solder? Dude, you got it. Go, right there. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right.
But I mean, just for reference, I race radio control cars, and I'm putting motors and batteries and electronics in all the time. So this is about a $120 soldering station, but I use it a ton.
But you got more control over it when you're doing it that way.
Exactly.
Especially like the volume. I use the Walmart one. I was like $5 for, and I use that all the time. But there's no temperature gauge. It's either hot or not.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, I quit, by the way. There's a window right there. I have no problem.
If you do it that way, the convention gets to see, though.
If I do it this way, there's people down there filming. We'll see how it goes. All right. 3, 2, 1.
It didn't pop.
I didn't do anything. What did it do? Watch me put it in the wrong way. No, I put it in the right way. This was the right one. Any luck? Oh, the power turned off. No, it didn't. Wow, we broke that even worse. Do you have any last minute questions? I mean, yeah, we've accomplished completely 0% of everything today.
Can you please upload hour-long clips of you failing and trying to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, totally. I appreciate that too. A big shout out to Gary too from RoXolid Productions. He's also on YouTube. If you want like quality stuff, you should watch his stuff, not me, because I don't get any of this stuff working. But RoXolid, ROX, RoXolid Productions. You'll find Gary here. And thank you for attending.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was kind of a long video, but it was kind of a long panel. Again, I gotta thank John a ton for inviting me to do that with him. It was super fun. I wish we could have gotten a couple of games working, but in 45 minutes, when you have to disassemble, diagnose, and try to repair, yeah, we are very pressed for time. If you do have any comments or questions about anything that we showed you here in this video, anything about soldering, repairing games, even just cleaning games, do me a favor, leave a comment down below in the comments section. You can also send me an email at roxolidmail@gmail.com. Send me a tweet over on Twitter at RoXolidStudios. Or, as always, we've got the conversation going on our Facebook page at facebook.com/RoXolidProductions. Now, if you want to help support the channel, too, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can go ahead and visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/RoXolid. For just $1 a month, we're adding more exclusive content to all of our Patreon supporters. You can suggest videos if you want. You get early access to all of our videos, too. You can also go to our Teespring store and pick up some merchandise. That way you can help support the channel too. And a lot of the supplies that we showed you that we use there, from the game bits to the 1-up cards to the cleaning solution and whatnot, you can get all that stuff over at CastlemaniaGames.com. And one of the cool things too is if you use promo code ROX10, you can actually save 10% on any of those cleaning supplies. And in fact, most items in the store are 10% off. There's a couple exclusions, but it'll let you know when you go through the checkout process. And finally, like I said at the top, if this is your first time here, or if you've watched us before and you like what we do, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe. That always helps the channel. It helps us show YouTube that, hey, we do have an audience that enjoys what we're doing and spreads the word around. So, again, thanks to John Rigg'd, thanks to Ginger, my girlfriend, thanks to everybody who came up and said hi, thanks to those of you who checked us out at the panel. One thing, we're coming up the train tracks here, so hang on. Bump. One other thing, too, coming out of that panel is I did have a chance. I want to give these guys a shout-out. That's Game and Browse. When I first saw them walking around the show and I saw their shirts, I thought it was Game and Watch. No, it's Game and Browse, and they were at the show too. Make sure you check them out. Super cool channel. They've got great production quality. It's well written. Some cool stuff you definitely really want to check out. So, I am Gary. This is RoXolid Productions, and we really need to get better roads here because this sucks. But thank you for watching, and I will not go over another bump, but I'll see you soon.